Whoa, what is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. I do see in the top left corner that the internet bar keeps fluctuating. I don't know why. Regardless, I know the audio never craps out with this. So if you see the picture glitch here and there, you'll get the audio. But I was going to go live today. I'm not going to announce that I'm going to go to a movie at 7 o'clock. But I was going to go live today if the New York Giants ended up signing Saquon Barkley to the extension, because it would have been exciting, something to talk about. This is kind of obviously anticlimactic. Now we got to sit and wait, and we'll talk about it and wonder, when Saquon Barkley going to show up? Is he going to show up for week number 1? And that's kind of the dilemma with where the New York Giants currently are here. Made a video about a month ago where I thought Saquon Barkley and the Giants would come to an agreement. I thought it just made sense that if Joe Schoen offered Barkley what was amounted to 2 franchise tags worth of guaranteed money or close to that, it would be foolish for Saquon Barkley to turn that down. It came out today. Who knows how accurate or what all the specifics of the contract were, but it came out today. Leading up to it, I think it was from Ryan Dunleavy of the New York Post, that the Giants had upped their offer to $22 million guaranteed. If that was the case, I mean, Saquon Barkley's entitled to do whatever he wants, but I think he should have signed that contract, because now you're 26 years old, you're a running back, you've got an injury history, and now all you are guaranteed is $10.1 million, and that is if you play all year. Obviously, now he's threatening that he will not show up to training camp. I think when push comes to shove, he's going to play. The argument against that would be that, he's trying to set the tone and, he doesn't want the New York Giants to do this to him again next year. But at the end of the day, that has never been really successful at the running back position. Yes, Le'Veon Bell did get a contract from the New York Jets, but he also missed out on a year's worth of guaranteed money from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he didn't really benefit from it. He got less than what a lot of people were projecting that year. He got a pretty good contract, though. I'll give him that. But I guess the leverage that Barkley may have is he does have a lot of money in the bank, a lot more money than most running backs would have at this stage in his career, due to the fact that he was the 2nd overall pick. But at the end of the day, I think he'll be playing week number 1 against the Dallas Cowboys. If he doesn't, he doesn't. That's up to him. And it would suck as a Giants fan. I do think he's important, as much as people say he's not. I do think he's very important to this football team. But as I said in my video, I completely understand the other side of the argument. I completely understand where Joe Schoen is coming from. And we don't have, full knowledge of what was discussed in that room between Joe Schoen, Saquon Barkley, and his, and his agents and everything else, in terms of what the dollar amount was, what the guarantees were, what Saquon Barkley's side was demanding, so on and so forth. But if you're Joe Schoen, the long-term goal should be not to pay a running back. It just shouldn't be. It's the most replaceable position in football. There's a reason that teams don't pay running backs. It's a declining market, right? Josh Jacobs. Now, there are 3 players that are going to play on franchise tags this year when all is said and done. All 3 of them are running backs. Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs, and Saquon Barkley. And it's been a position really since the franchise tag was instituted that has been the position that more often than not, they have used it. They have used the franchise tag. And there are several arguments that you can make when running backs get paid. It doesn't work out. Todd Gurley being prime example number 1. And there are several others that you could go over. So I completely understand why the New York Giants didn't want to give him a long-term commitment. I was kind of in the middle. I was hoping, being that he is such an important piece to this offense for the here and now, he's a face of this franchise, that they could have gotten a deal in the middle done, a 2-year commitment with it clear out after that. It didn't happen. It is what it is. And now if you're Saquon Barkley, I think your best option is to play the $10.1 million, go out there, stay healthy, have another great year. And next year you either get another $12 million guaranteed with a second franchise tag, or you hit the open market. It never made sense for Barkley to sign any contract under $20 million or more guaranteed, for the simple reason, you only stand to make another $6 to $8 million in guaranteed money over the $10 million you're guaranteed this year. And next year, you're either going to get a tag or you're going to hit the open market if you stay healthy, and you're going to get an even bigger contract than that. So I think Barkley could still make out on this. He's still got $50 million in the bank. He's still making $10 million this year. He stands to make 12 next year if the Giants are forced to tag him again, or he gets to hit free agency, and he'll probably get at least a decent-sized contract. After all, he's still Saquon Barkley. He's a tremendous football player, and we'll see how he does this year. I just hope we get a motivated Barkley. And I think, and maybe this is me being optimistic in my heart, we will. But there's no guarantees to that, and we'll see how it all plays out. I don't think he'll be at training camp. How much is that going to affect the locker room? How much of that is going to affect, the offense? I don't think so much. I'm not too worried about the offense. He's a running back at the end of the day. You'd like him there. You'd like him to be building a rapport with Daniel Jones and the new members of the team and the offense and the running back room and everything else. But it's not like he's a wide receiver running routes, or an offensive lineman that you really want to get his reps. I do think he's a guy that keeps himself in great physical shape. When push comes to shove, I think he'll show up week number 1 against the Dallas Cowboys, and I think he'll be damn good. But it's just unfortunate, right? You think back, Ezekiel Elliott was really good after his holdout with the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe it'll take a week or two for him to really get his bearings, and that Dallas Cowboys game is so important. But I think what it came down to for Joe Schoen at the end of the day was simple. It's not about how he wants to build his football team in 2023. It's about how he's, envisioning building his football team in 2025, 2026, 2027, and he didn't want to overcommit to a running back. And I can't blame him. My heart says I want Saquon. I love Saquon. He's my favorite player on the team, but I love the Giants a lot more than I love Saquon Barkley. And yeah, I could at least understand where Joe Schoen is coming from. I don't necessarily love where we're at. I wish things worked out better. I do think Saquon Barkley earned a contract. He played his ass off last year. It's just unfortunate. He plays the running back position, and it's a position that is very devalued. At this point in time, it's only gotten less and less and less in terms of how it's viewed throughout the league from general managers, coaches, and everything else in terms of the importance. It's a very replaceable position. Quarterback position is not. I laugh at people that are blaming Daniel Jones for why Saquon Barkley didn't get paid. It has nothing to do with Daniel Jones. Zero. It has everything to do with the fact that Saquon Barkley is a running back. None of those top running backs got paid, and it is what it is. Do I think Barkley's replaceable this year? No, I do not. I don't think that you could expect for him to sit out and the New York Giants offense not to miss a beat. Do I think he's replaceable long-term? Absolutely. And I think that's how Joe Schoen was thinking when he didn't offer Saquon Barkley this 3, 4, 5-year contract or whatever the contract demands were from Saquon Barkley and his side of the table with his agency. I wish the deal got done. It didn't. It is what it is. I still think the Giants are in a good place, but Barkley obviously is going to have a big impact on this offense this year. He's still our most feared playmaker. He's still a guy that defenses have to game plan for. And he's a guy that I do expect to be there week 1 because money talks at the end of the day. And you're turning down $600,000 a game or thereabouts if you don't play. So I think he will be playing, and it also potentially hurts his future value, right? The running back position is only going down. You have to think he's going to be worth less next year than he is this year because he's going to be a year older. He's going to be a year closer to the point where running backs are projected to fall off a cliff. If he doesn't play this year, you would think he'd be worth even less. So it's unfortunate, but Barkley, I think, has to go out there this year and prove that he's worthy of bringing back again for the Giants on a $12 million tag, or he hits free agency if the Giants don't want to tag him. And if he has a really good year, he'll get paid handsomely for it. It didn't work out, but I don't think it has anything to do with Daniel Jones. And we'll see. We'll see how the New York Giants go about things long term. Yeah, I think Joe Schoen is envisioning 2-3 years down the line having a running back by committee. He'd rather put his resources elsewhere than paying a running back big money. And I completely understand. And I actually agree with it. I thought, they could have worked something out where they could have paid him what I think he is worth short term and moved off of him, after 2 years. It is what it is, though. As Saquon Barkley pointed out in his tweet when the contract details came out and the New York Giants were unable to work anything out with him at the running back position. I just hope he's playing week 1. I think he will be. And hopefully the New York Giants have a great year. I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. I'll be live with Bad Dog on Thursday. I texted him today. May go live tomorrow. We'll see to talk about this with you guys, but really not in the mood to talk about it because it's not really exciting at this point. It's just going to be annoying because it's going to be something we have on our minds now for the remainder of the offseason, talking about whether or not Saquon Barkley is going to play on the tag, whether or not he's going to show up for camp, which does not appear to be the case. All the beat writers already came out and said don't expect him to show up to camp. So now you're just hoping he's there for week number 1, which I think he will be. Will there be a bit of rust? Very possible. And that's a very important game, week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys. But we'll see how it all works out. Long term, I think the New York Giants made the right decision. Short term, we'll see how it affects the team going into 2023 as Daniel Jones starts year 1 in that $40 million contract. As always, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.